Chinese President Xi Jinping could miss the COP26 climate summit in Scotland at the end of the month. Mr. Xi has reportedly declined a personal invitation from British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. It's a blow to efforts to get prominent support for plans to tackle climate change. There are growing doubts over the commitment that China is prepared to make to reduce its emissions. The country's rising carbon footprint has overshadowed recent attempts to enhance its green credentials. Now, China is expected to lead a 5% spike in global coal consumption this year. While Mr. Xi's attendance is in doubt, another world leader has confirmed he will travel to Scotland. Australia's Scott Morrison has withdrawn a threat to skip COP26, calling it an important event. Australia is one of the world's largest coal and gas exporters, but Mr. Morrison has so far refused to set a target to achieve net zero emissions. For more, Ollie Barrett joins us live now from London. Ollie, it would be a snub if Mr. Xi didn't attend this event. Could it be a significant blow to COP26?
UK officials are trying to play down the significance of President Xi's potential non-attendance of the summit. They say he's just not travelling at the moment, and there have been lots of other major international events that he hasn't been at in person. They say he'll send a delegation, and the crucial point will be what that delegation comes armed with in terms of ambitions and targets and commitments. There's no doubt, though, that the UK government would have really liked President Xi to come to the summit in person. It would have given some extra credibility to the summit. It would have really added some weight, I think, to the discussions, particularly when so many in Boris Johnson's own Conservative Party here in the UK are saying that one thing they believe the UK needs to do is show that it can bring China to the table and secure significant commitments from the country as part of these negotiations, which will happen in Glasgow towards the end of this month and then through into next month as well. UK officials, though, very much welcoming the news that Scott Morrison will be here. Some are suggesting that perhaps the Queen had something to do with it. She was overheard in the last 24 hours saying she found it irritating that world leaders, in her view, did a lot of talking and not a lot of doing when it comes to climate change. Whether or not that had any impact on Scott Morrison is not clear.
Well, there's certainly a lot to do on the climate front, Ollie. We've just got 2 weeks to go before this summit, and yet there is this growing frustration that not enough progress is being made by these world leaders.
Yeah, bear in mind a lot of diplomacy is done in advance of these major events. And so the fact that we haven't really been able to see much credible, concrete progress from some of the world's major emitters in the run-up to COP26 is leading to some concern that we therefore won't see a huge breakthrough at the summit itself. It's a big deal for Boris Johnson's government, which wants to use COP26 and also its presidency of the G7 to show that it can be influential on the world stage. It can bring countries together to get things done. Global Britain, Boris Johnson talks about regularly in the post-Brexit age. He's also got that tilt towards the Indo-Pacific going on that he talks so much about. COP26 is crucial for Boris Johnson, and therefore he and his ministers and his officials are doing as much as they can now behind the scenes in the run-up to COP26 to try and make sure that it can achieve some concrete ambitions that have been set out in advance of it.
Well, many will be hoping for the best for this summit. Ollie, thank you very much for that. Ollie Barrett there in London.